a project that is very important. And we're going to be talking about measuring. We're going to make bricks. These are 2 inches by 4 inches. We're going to be using a ruler. So these big ones over here, these are inches. It says inch right on them. These over here, centimeters. So we're going to be using the inches to measure. We're going to take our large sheet of paper, and on the skinny part, the 12-inch part, is a 12 by 18 sheet of paper. We are going to be using the inches. We are going to take them, line them up parallel to the side of the page. And we're going to make sure that this little tick right here is what we're going to be measuring off of. We're not going to be measuring it off of here because this is all dead space. That's not actually measured. And we're going to line it up, line up that tick. The tick on the 12 should also be on the edge of your paper. And then we're going to make marks every 2 inches. So we're going to mark 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. We're going to do the same thing on the other side of the page as well. So flip that paper around, line up on the 0 tick mark. Make sure that the 12 tick mark also is there. We want this to be roughly parallel. It should be about a pencil width here and a pencil width down here at the bottom. And we're going to mark the 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. We're going to do the same thing one more time in the middle of our page. And note that this is taking not a lot of time once you know what you're doing. So here, we're not going to get it exact, but we're just using this as a guide because we have 12 inches to go across an 18-inch sheet of paper. Line up on the tick mark at the top and the bottom. It is relatively up and down, about as close as you can get. So now we have all the way down marks every 2 inches. Note that I didn't make a mark on the 0. We don't have to make a mark on the 12. It should be right at the edge of your paper. You shouldn't be able to see anything there. Now, we're going to be using that ruler and the lines that we made. We measured, so we should have good lines. Wow, the electricity there went out for a second. So straight across, and then straight across here. And note that we are going to have some mortar in between our bricks, so it's not imperative that we are super perfect, or if a little bit of wiggle room happened, that is fine. So we are going to make these horizontal lines across. I am going to pick up the pace a little bit to show you how quickly you can go, not how quickly you should go. You should take your time. Note one hand is holding the ruler, well, the other hand is making a straight mark. And this is a project I'm doing with grade 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to use it for the basis for something else. It's just what I would like you guys to have done the first week in class time. And if you're watching this video, it means you either missed class or you didn't utilize your class time well enough. So we have these awesome stripes. They're completely parallel across the page. Parallel means they're never gonna cross. Then we can take this ruler again, line up the side. We're gonna make a mark at 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Make a mark on the 0. Pull that ruler ahead. The mark at the 10, mark at the 8. Okay, we're gonna go mark at the 6, the 4, and 2 is right at the edge of the page. Then we're gonna do it one more time. And if you have a line that you feel like is sloping down a little bit, do not make the marks on that line because then you will not have perfect marks. What you need to do is use these very parallel lines that we've just made. And we're gonna make the marks on that. line up edge of page, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. And we are always using the inches. Remember, we're not using centimeters. We're not doing anything there. We are always using the inches. Okay, so then we have marks every 2 inches for our vertical lines. These are bricks, so they are not going to be a tile pattern. If you look at a brick wall, they are staggered. If they all were the same stack up and you pushed it over, it would just, the whole wall would fall apart. This is for structural integrity. So every other line, we're going to make our mark. So first we have 2 inches in. We're going to make a mark on lines 1, 3, and 5. We're going to move over 2 inches. And these need to be 1 inch by, or sorry, 1 tall by 2 wide. So we're not going to make a mark on 1, 3, 5. We'll make a mark on line 2, line 4, and line 6. Next line, we're going to go back to that 1, 3, 5. So we are going from even to odd. So we are odd. We are going to go 1, 3, 5. And we're going to continue like that all the way down the page. And then we're going to have that awesome brick pattern. Note that this is very specific. We're not like making freehand marks. We're not using this ruler. We're going to use this ruler for what it was intended for, measuring and drawing awesome tight lines that are straight across our page. Note I'm also holding with my hand wide at 2 different points on the ruler and pressing down with a little bit of weight. I'm not struggling to press down, but using just a little bit of weight. So we're going to do that all the way down the page, and then we are going to give these lines a little bit of thickness. So just a little bit of thickness. We don't want it super wide, but thinner than a pencil. And we're going to do that on the horizontal lines as well as the vertical lines. Horizontal is left to right, vertical is up and down, and then just a little bit of curve to it. And this is step 2. Some students should be doing this at the end of week 1. Other students will be doing this at the beginning of week 2. So there we have it. We're just learning how to draw these bricks, learning how to properly measure with a ruler. That is what I would like you guys to do. So for art, if you're at home because you're in quarantine, or if you didn't get this done and you need to do it during study hall, this is exactly what we're going to be doing. This is week 1. This should be week 2, maybe week 3. And we will talk about how to make these marks in week 2 and 3 when we're using different vertical, diagonal lines. We're using swirly marks, we're using straight marks, we're using 2 or 3 or even 4 different shades of color or tints of color, and we're varying the hardness that we're using. We'll talk about that next week. I want you guys to make this awesome brick pattern all the way across. A little bit of these mortar marks between. Thank you very much. I will see you guys next week. Bye.